So could
Yeah.
you talk about like what are some of the common challenges that caregivers experience, but particularly Black women caregivers experience right now?
And I'm really, really glad you brought up adultification. And so for everybody who is listening in your audience, the both topics and both subjects are very nuanced. But when we're talking about adultification, we're talking about a form of bias, meaning not only half the adults in the United States see us as needing less nurturing and less care, but it can also happen in your family and your community. But parentification, more specifically, happens in the context of a family and having this distortion of boundaries around me being the child versus me being the adult. And so some of the common challenges, obviously we're here talking about burnout, and we become prone to burnout just sort of being in the habit or mix of doing, going, the logistics, the giving, and before you know it, it just kind of takes over your life. And you know, there are some people who intentionally, right, become caregivers in the terms of, you know, I do this professionally. I care for a parent, or unintentionally, right? You might have a child who might have more needs, or again, in the case of parentification, where you didn't choose your parents, you didn't choose, but you were sort of forced into that role. And so the burnout from constantly going, the emotional labor that comes with that, and as a result, it's emotional neglect, right? Not at, um, in all cases, it might not be on purpose, but you become neglected emotionally over time because there hadn't been enough space for it. And financial strain, right? Whenever you're caring for someone, it takes over your time and it impacts how well you're able to show up at work. I was reading an article the other day, and it said that it was like over 100 million caregivers in the US and like 5 million parents, excuse me, with special needs children, or like some large number. And it's like, well, this is an issue. So it just helped me understand all of the symptom of it, but it's just like it's not as well understood, and there's probably not of a lot of accommodations for it. But kind of getting back to your questions, common challenges: the burnout, the emotional neglect, the financial aspect, and guilt for just having your own needs all together.
Mhm.